Huge news coming out of Old Trafford today as Manchester United Director of Football Jason Wilcox steps up to secure the future of the club. We now have confirmation that Captain Bruno Fernandes is officially staying put, ending all that messy transfer speculation linking him to Bayern Munich and other heavy hitters. It is a massive win for the fans who want to see their star playmaker leading the charge under the current management.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the PopSockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
From the bright lights of the Champions League to the reality of the lower leagues, the English football calendar for next season is looking absolutely wild. We are talking about potential fixtures like Tottenham taking on Lincoln, or the Premier League giants Leicester squaring off against Bromley. It is the ultimate tale of mismanagement meeting overachievement, and honestly, you have to see these strange matchups to believe them. Think you know everything about the history of the FA Cup? Think again, because we have an incredible story about Manchester United legend Johnny Carey. It turns out back in 1948, the most iconic trophy in English football was not kept in a high-security vault, but tucked away under a bed in the family home. It is a legendary look at a different era of the beautiful game that you simply cannot miss. The personal side of Johnny Carey and his family legacy shows just how down-to-earth even the greatest Manchester United captains really were back then. From the signed match ball that ended up being used in the garden to the FA Cup sitting in a trunk, this is the kind of history that makes the sport so special. If you loved this deep dive into football culture and transfer updates, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Is Bruno Fernandes finally done with the chaos at Old Trafford? For months, the rumor mill has been churning, linking Manchester United's talisman to heavyweights like Bayern Munich, PSG, and even a move to Saudi Arabia. But hold your breath, because the story has just taken a massive turn. Jason Wilcox, the man steering the ship as director of football, has stepped in and effectively slammed the door on any exit talk. Let's be honest, Fernandes isn't just a player, he is the heartbeat of this team. Since his arrival from Sporting back in 2020, he's been the standout signing of the post-Ferguson era. We're talking about a guy who is currently chasing the record for the most assists in a single Premier League season, rubbing shoulders with legends like Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne. Even at 31, he's showing no signs of slowing down, which is exactly why the biggest clubs in the world were circling like sharks. The tension actually peaked back in December when Fernandes admitted he felt hurt by rumors that the club might cash in on him. It was a wake-up call for the hierarchy. Wilcox, recognizing that you don't just replace a player of that caliber, held clear-the-air talks to prove that Fernandes is the absolute center of their long-term project. And it worked. You can see the shift in his form and hear it in his own words. He's settled, his family feels at home, and he's bought into the vision under Michael Carrick. With Champions League qualification on the horizon, it feels like the dust is finally settling. Carrick has been vocal about his desire to keep his captain, praising his massive influence on and off the pitch. Now, the focus shifts to the engine room, with links to talents like Elliot Anderson and a high-stakes auction for a new Brazilian midfielder. It's clear United is trying to build a fortress around Bruno rather than tearing it down. It's a bold, necessary move that signals United is finally getting serious about its future. Do you think Bruno can carry this team to silverware next season, or is the midfield overhaul coming too late? Drop a comment below with your take and make sure to subscribe so you never miss a beat on the latest transfer drama. Keep watching this space for more. Ever thought you would see the day where the giants of the Premier League rub shoulders with teams whose training grounds fit in a stadium parking lot? Well, buckle up, because the 2026-27 English football calendar is shaping up to be an absolute fever dream. We are looking at a future where Tottenham, Leicester, and perhaps even Manchester United are set to face off against clubs that, until recently, were fighting for survival on the fringes of the football pyramid. Let's talk about Spurs. Imagine being a fan in a 70,000-seat state-of-the-art arena, watching your team get dismantled in the Champions League, only to realize your next road trip isn't to the San Siro. it's to Sincil Bank. The last time Tottenham played Lincoln City in a league game, Harry Truman was in the White House. The contrast is staggering. While Spurs have been chasing European glory, Lincoln has been a masterclass in community-led, sustainable growth. It is the classic tale of two worlds colliding, and frankly, it is as hilarious as it is sobering. But if you think that is wild, look at Leicester City. A side that won the Premier League and lifted the FA Cup in the last decade is now gearing up to face Bromley, a club that spent over 130 years in the non-league shadows. Bromley boss Andy Woodman put it best. They are training on one AstroTurf pitch while Leicester's multi-million-pound facility crumbles under the weight of sheer mismanagement. It is the ultimate David versus Goliath. Only in this version, David is actually more organized than Goliath. And let's not forget the wild card, Wrexham. If they climb the mountain, the idea of a league fixture against Manchester United shifts from a pre-season friendly pipe dream to a reality. It would be a fascinating, chaotic spectacle that would turn the entire EFL upside down. So, is this the death of traditional hierarchies or the breath of fresh air the league actually needs? Personally, I think it is a reminder that in football, complacency is a death sentence and passion is the ultimate equalizer. What do you think? Are these fixtures a beautiful display of the pyramid's meritocracy, or is the gap between the elite and the rest finally closing? Drop a comment below, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep the conversation going. After all, the beautiful game is usually at its best when it makes absolutely no sense. Picture this: you are an 8-year-old kid, and you go looking for your lost toy under your parents' bed, only to pull out the most prestigious trophy in English football. It sounds like a scene from a movie, right? But for Mike Carey, the son of the legendary Manchester United captain Johnny Carey, that was just a Tuesday. I recently sat down with 84-year-old Mike to talk about his father, and the stories he shared really put into perspective just how much the beautiful game has transformed over the decades. Back in 1948, winning the FA Cup wasn't just a trophy lift. It was the spark that ignited the post-war rebirth of Manchester United under Matt Busby. But despite the monumental importance of that victory, Johnny Carey was the definition of humble. Mike recalls being at the victory parade in Albert Square as a young boy, watching his dad get handed the cup, only for that piece of history to end up stashed away in a trunk under the bed. Can you imagine the sheer casualness of that? Today, a trophy like that would be under 24-hour security, but back then, it was just another item in the house. It really highlights the gap between the glitz and extreme wealth of the modern Premier League and the grounded, working-class reality of football royalty back then. But the story gets even better, or depending on how much you love football history, more painful. The family also had the match ball from the final, signed by every single player on both sides. To an adult, that is a priceless relic. To a pair of young brothers, it was just a ball. Mike admits that he and his brother eventually grew tired of looking at it, took it out of the wardrobe, and kicked it around the garden until every single signature was worn away. You would expect a legendary skipper to be furious, but Johnny Carey, he didn't even blink. He just saw it as another ball to play with. It serves as a beautiful reminder that before the commercial machine, football was just a game played by people, for the people. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, hit that like button and subscribe for more untold stories from football history. At the end of the day, maybe we take the game a little too seriously today, and sometimes the best place for a trophy really is just under the bed. Imagine digging under your parents' bed and finding one of the most iconic trophies in world football. It sounds like a scene from a movie, right? Well, for Mike Carey, it was just another Tuesday. Recently, I caught up with Mike, the 84-year-old son of the legendary Manchester United captain, Johnny Carey, and he shared a story that perfectly captures the beautiful, humble heart of a different era. We're talking about the 1948 FA Cup victory, a massive moment that helped rebuild Manchester United under the great Sir Matt Busby following the devastation of World War II. But if you think modern football royalty lives in a bubble of private jets and security details, Johnny Carey's life was the polar opposite. As Mike recalls, he was just 8 years old when his uncle took him to the parade. When the celebrations wound down, His dad walked home with the actual FA Cup trophy, simply stashing it in a trunk under the bed. To an 8-year-old kid, it wasn't a historic relic. It was just Dad's cup. And it gets even better, or worse, depending on how much you value history. The family also had the match ball from that final, autographed by every player on the pitch. But for the Carey brothers, it wasn't a collector's item. It was a toy. Mike remembers dragging it out of the wardrobe so they could kick it around the garden, effectively erasing the signatures that would be worth a fortune today. You'd expect a legendary captain to blow a fuse, but Johnny, he didn't blink. To him, a ball was just a ball. It really puts into perspective how much the game has changed from those grounded, modest roots to the high-stakes, commercial machine we see now. It's a powerful reminder that behind every historic trophy and every legendary record, there's a human story that often feels remarkably ordinary. What's the most interesting piece of sports history you've ever stumbled upon in your own home? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more hidden gems from football's golden age. Sometimes, the most legendary stories aren't found in the history books. They're found tucked away under the bed.